What's good, YouTube? It's your man, Turn Me Up Tony, back at it with another reaction video on this lovely Tuesday night. So it looks like what we got here, what we're about to be reacting to, is women are tired of taking care of men? Listen, I'm not going to automatically get into the details. We just about to just jump right into it. We about to get to the reacting. Like I said, we're reacting all 2025. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get it.
Ladies, it's not a slip. You are being violated. You are being violated, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Men are not dumb. They're brilliant. And one of the most brilliant tactics they've ever done is to convince us that they're dumb. All of the shit that they do that is super fucked up is intentional, and they know exactly what they're doing. And because we can just actually leave them now and we're not all being held hostage like our grandmothers, they have to trick us into staying. So they do that by weaponized incompetence. Oh, oops, I don't know how to wash dishes. I don't know how to change the bed. Even though my dad literally admitted that he was pretending to not know how to make the bed, even though he was in the fucking Navy. And
that sounds like a type of man that you're specifically dealing with, sis. You can't vouch for all men. I don't know where you grew up or what men you were raised around or what men you're dealing with currently. But from the men I've known, are able to do things on their own. I never know men to try to manipulate a situation to try to make a woman stay. It's usually the other way around. And I'm not saying all women do that, but usually from certain women, it's usually the other way around. I've never seen that with men. It goes both ways. I'm not going to sit here and put the blame game on one gender or the other, because it can really go both ways. But let's not sit here and generalize and project and make an assumption that all men are like this. Truth be told, sis, you're dealing with one specific type of man that you've been dealing with for I don't know how long. And that just so happened to be your experience. Please don't lump all men into this category. Just like we're not going to lump all certain women in the same category. Let's continue.
Knows how to make the bed better than anyone, had to bounce fucking order on it. But he admitted to me that he'd make it shitty so he wouldn't have to do it. But that video, go watch that video. It's really good. And it's a perfect example of in every area. It's not just housework. My dog's even getting upset. In every area of life, they are pretending to be stupid. And
it's funny to say that because men literally built this world. You're living in a man's world, sis. Like, what reality are you living into where men feel like they're stupid, that they're incapable? Weren't men the one who built the infrastructure that we called that you're living in right now a house? Have they not built schools, banks? Not to say women haven't either, but I would say a good 90%, 100% of men are far capable. Our genetics were to be hunter-gatherers. While you sit in your little hut and you hold down to be a nurturing mother, it was a man's job to go out there and to sacrifice and make a living for you and your family. So let's not play this game to make it seem like men or like you're lumping men into this category. That it just doesn't exist. Yes, there are men who don't know how to take care of themselves, and yes, they need a woman to take care of them. But from the world that we currently live in, I don't know where that really exists, where you're going to lump it in with all men are like this. No, that was a specific man that you were dealing with. So you just can't make this generalized assumption that just because you had a bad experience with this boyfriend or ex-husband, whatever the case may be, or who this significant other was to you, you can't say that about all men. You live in a man's world that was built by men. Men are always put on the forefront. When you look at wars, when you look at businesses, when you look at all the significant conquerors and prehistoric times, it was always men that were always on the front line. I'm pretty sure whatever job you're working at, I'm pretty sure a man owns it. Not to say that women don't. This is not to put down women. This is just to uplift men, because we have a lot of women who think this way about men. And that's what's plaguing society right now as we speak. Don't worry, we're going to make a video about you men too. You're not off the hook. But right now, this is about this woman automatically just trying to lump men in the same category. And she's wrong.
It's a manipulation tactic. They are the manipulative one. I'm not saying women don't manipulate. Of course we do. We're great at it because we had to. But men, they are malicious and manipulative.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 2 of the weaponized incompetence topic. If you've already seen part 1, thank you for watching and staying tuned for part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, it'll be linked in the description box. A few days ago, I posted a question in my community tab asking you guys about weaponized incompetence and if you've experienced it with any of your partners. 51% said yes, I didn't know there was a name for it. 34% said very much so, and I hate it. Wow. Okay, that's like 80.
Bro, men don't weaponize anything. So are we trying to turn this? So I'm pretty sure this all stems from a man probably ask you to do your motherly duties, your womanly duties, which is to probably cook, clean, take care of the household. So it's not no incompetence. We like to call that lazy. It's not, they're not capable of doing so. Men are very capable of doing a lot. But when we're out there busting our ass for God knows how long, just to provide for you and the household, we don't want to come home and have to be able to tend to housely duties that you should be tending to. I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's just laziness. It's not them being incapable. Most men know how to take care of themselves. So where are we getting this weaponized incompetence from? Like, what? Like, you coming up with all these different, what? Just say we're just lazy and we just want a woman to help around the household. That's it. It's not like men can't do it themselves. They can. You're talking about basic chores that we've grown up doing. Cleaning the house, cooking your own food. I'm pretty sure a good majority of men already know how to do that. Nobody's weaponizing or manipulating anything against you. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. It's an imagination. Congratulations, you played yourself once again.
85% of the population. 85%. There was a small percentage of people that said, I don't think so, but maybe they were a great actor. So I'm going to say half of those people, it went undetected. Okay. So it's about 90% of people that have experienced weaponized incompetence. And what is that exactly? Pretty much weaponized incompetence is when somebody knowingly or unknowingly demonstrates an inability to perform or master certain tasks, which leads other people to have to pick up the slack for them and do it instead. So, that's kind of how a lot of women end up cooking for their men. And it's not a 50-50 thing because men are just like, oh, I burned the food. It's not good. It's terrible. You should do it for me. You're better. That type of thing. Let's go ahead and get into this part 2.
Once again, it has nothing to do with men being incompetent. It's the fact that if 9 times out of 10, your man is most likely the breadwinner. He's most likely going out there, busting his ass, working 40 to 60 hours a week to provide for him and his household. He doesn't want to have to come home and to tend to the kids, tend to necessities and household duties that you should already be doing as a woman if he's taking care of you. Most of all you women want to be taken care of. But it's like when a man asks to be taken care of, y'all make it seem like it's damn near the end of the world. Back in the 50s, and our grandparents, they didn't mind doing it. Our grandmothers, they didn't mind tending to their husband. That's what it's called. Yes, 50-50. I go out here, I work, and you come home, you tend to the kids and tend to the household. Why is you trying to make it seem like we're incompetent? And it's so ironic because you live in a world that has been made by men. It's been created by men. Yes, women had added great value to this world. They built this infrastructure, and they add a great importance to this society just as much as men. But to say that we're incompetent is just a stretch. No, most men are lazy when it comes to basic duties that a woman should be doing. That's it. If a man's tired, he drained, he doesn't want to have to come home and attend to more stuff. It's not about it being incompetent. Okay, so how about you become the breadwinner? How about, okay, are you incompetent to go work a 9-to-5 job? Okay. If I'm incompetent to stay home and to tend to the household, how about we switch then? You go out there and you work 40 to 60 hours a week, busting your ass, getting yelled at by your boss. I'm gonna stay home and chill. And matter of fact, I'm gonna put more responsibility on you because I think you're incompetent to clean your own household and cook your own food. So I'm not gonna cook you any food. I'm not gonna even learn how to cook you any food. I'm not gonna clean anything because it's gonna show that you're incompetent to do it yourself. So let you go do all that. And I'm just gonna stand here and just look all cute. Just be a man. What? Like who raised y'all? I don't understand the line of thinking of that.
Men are not shit. Let's watch this.
I know, but she's been in her crib since 3.
I didn't know that.
What? You didn't know where your daughter was at 3?
4:30 and she was taking a nap.
Oh, wow. Went to sleep at 4:30. Sweet. What a great mom.
So, this mother was home. When her very young child was taking a nap, she decided to go upstairs and take a nap as well. Her husband is home at this time. When she wakes up from her nap a few hours later, he informs her that she is still in her crib and that she has been in her crib since the mom went to sleep several hours earlier, even though he knew that she was awake and crying. When she asked, "Why didn't you check on the baby? You're her father," he says, "Oh, well, I thought our teenage daughter was gonna do that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that."
Okay, yeah, that's his fault. Okay, that's your fault. You men we're taking an L on that one. I will admit 100%. That's crazy. Because when it comes to the children, it's supposed to go both ways. I'm not saying that it's automatically put on one person's job, because the ideal of family is the unison between both. You need the nurturing and love from a mother, and you need the guidance, the protection from a father. But at the end of the day, you both are raising that child. It's not, yes, it does have a little bit more responsibility on women because it's like, that's like second nature to them. When women get pregnant and they have a child, they automatically know what to do. They get into survival mode. Men is like, it's kind of different. We help out when we can, warm the bottle, change the diaper here and there. But at the end of the day, I feel like women it's in your DNA to be more nurturing. Honestly, to take care of a child when it comes to that aspect of it. But if the baby is crying, that you shouldn't have to put that on the teenage daughter. That is the man's job. If the wife was tired and she was drained and she was asleep, we're going to take an L on that.
When the mom points out that that is not the daughter's responsibility, he goes into this rage talking about how, well, I was making dinner and I was doing this and doing that. To which she responds, "I do all of those things every single day and I still check on the baby." To which he responds, "This just feels like you have an agenda against me." Yeah, Ken. The agenda is you should be watching your children.
Yeah, that's the man. That's the man's fault. That's the man's fault. The wife is tired. She's drained. She goes take a nap. It's your responsibility as the father, as the man, to attend to those children. There's no way in hell you should be letting your son or your daughter sit there and cry and automatically want to put that on a daughter, put the responsibility on a daughter to fill in for you. That's not her job. You're supposed to be tending to the kids. Y'all both supposed to be tending to the kids. Even though it is more of the wife's job to do so, listen, it goes both ways. You can't put all the responsibility on the mother when it comes to the children. You gotta meet her halfway. I get it. even though it does, become that way, where it usually is her job. But like I said, us men, you got to take the L for that. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy.
With a man, and I didn't want to fall into the trap of doing all of the housework and that sort of unpaid labor that women are often relegated to, whether it's intentional or not. So I thought, like, if men can weaponize incompetence and pretend they don't know how to clean or grocery shop, why can't I? So I just never did my.
It's just to me, it's just how households been ran since the beginning of time. From a traditional standpoint, a man will go out, he will work, he would provide for the household, and a woman's job would be to tend to the children and tend to the motherly house duties. That's it. I'm sorry, it's that much of a problem for you to clean a toilet, wash some dishes, and cook some warm food. I'm sorry, that is but you will do it for your boss. You will do it for another man that doesn't care nothing about you, but you wouldn't do it for the love of your life, especially if he's laying down his life on a day-to-day basis. Why is that so hard to understand? You scratch my back, I scratch your back. I'm pretty sure the men that you're dealing with is already taking care of 90% of the bills. He's doing all the heavy lifting. I'm pretty sure he does all the maintenance around the house. If something breaks, I'm pretty sure you're going to call a man to do it. You're going to call your man to do it. When there's a problem, you're going to call your husband. If somebody breaks into your house, you're going to call your husband. When it comes to leading, making the decision, it's usually the husband's job to do so. And all he just asks you to do is just clean and cook food, and now it's looking like unpaid labor? That should be out of love. You know what? My man had a long day of work. Let me cook him some food. That's the least I can do. Imagine if a man just sat there and said, you know what? I don't want to work. I don't want to do all this as a man. Because, I just don't feel like it. I feel like it's unpaid labor. It's unpaid labor for me to take care of you. I don't want to do so. So they try to weaponize. This is what you call women who are truly incompetent. They don't want to take the initiative and do so for a man. So a lot of these women in modern society, in today's age, they don't know how to cook for themselves. They don't know how to, let alone a man. They don't know how to tend to motherly duties, wifely duties. This is the age of the independent woman. I get it. Power to you, women. I'm not trying to put y'all down, but y'all gotta stop using this to weaponize and use it against men. The men who are willing to lay their lives down and be able to take care of you on a day-to-day basis. Why? Where's the appreciation? How are you really appreciating a man? You can't do something as simple as boil a damn cup of noodles in a microwave because it's unpaid labor.
Laundry, like literally never. And guess what? I haven't done laundry in 2 years. Not one time. Somehow it just gets done. But like now my boyfriend's been gone on a business trip for 3 weeks and I don't know how to use our washer machine. So
I just found something on Reddit that is kind of groundbreaking and I needed to share it with you guys because it put words to something that I couldn't voice for a really long time. And I think we need to add it to our vocabulary, like weaponized incompetence and king baby. I found it in this Reddit.
What's the wrong with this generation? Y'all coming up with all these new terminologies and all these things just to not take accountability. Just say you're lazy and you don't know how to tend to a man. Stop trying to flip it on him and weaponize incompetence. Y'all just made it up in this decade. I've never heard that. I never heard my mother, my grandfather, my grandparents ever say any dumb shit like that. Stop it. Weaponize incompetence. Just say I don't know how to tend to a man the way that he would like me to. And that's okay. As long as you're not going to weaponize it and try to manipulate it and make it seem like he's the one that's in the wrong. I'm pretty sure 90% of you women want men to take care of you. You can work your own job. Some of you women, you can use that excuse. You can say, you know, I do want to work my own job, but a lot of you don't. You want to be taken care of by a man. You want a man that earns more money than you. You want to you don't want to have to worry about bills. You want to get your nails done. You want to get your hair done. Who do you think is paying for that? A man. So what if he used the same analogy on you? What if he says you're incompetent to get your lazy ass up and go get a job? Why is it only incompetent when you don't want to attend to wifely duties? Oh, I forgot. You don't know how to become one. You don't know what it takes to become a wife. But that's okay. We're not faulting you. Nobody's perfect. But when you start manipulating it and start gaslighting it and then trying to flip it on men, that's when it becomes a problem. And see, women like that, they're going to cause nothing but great stress in your life. You're better off being single for the rest of your life to deal with women that's like that, who's just going to try to continue manipulating you. You're better off being single. And hear me clearly, this is not bashing women. Because I will admit, a lot of men being wrong with a lot of stuff too. It goes both ways. Listen, I didn't come up with this. This is what TikTok. This is what's on TikTok. I'm just reacting and putting my input from a logical perspective. Because this is crazy. I don't like seeing the division between man and women. We already have enough of that in today's society. We need to see more marriages. We need to see more long-lasting relationships. Old couples that be walking down the street holding hands, and no matter their differences and the stuff that they had in their past, they figured it out. They're willing to stick through it, through thick and through thin. But it seems like everybody just wants to give up and then trying to point the finger at each other. No, it goes both ways.
Thread. My partner came home all outraged that his friend was crying as he had been dumped. Since I'm friends with the ex-girlfriend, I wasn't surprised and told him so. When he went to see his mate the next day, he was being supported. I told him to ask a few questions to ascertain whether he really was caught off guard, as if it was unexpected to me. I'm confused why it would be unexpected to the man in the actual relationship. Partner came home and went, So I spoke to him and he said he knew she'd been unhappy, but he thought it was just a rough patch. So yeah, he did know. He wasn't caught off guard. He just thought it was a tolerable level of permanent unhappiness. Okay,
so much happening. I got to talk about these clips.
I don't know.
First lady with the red hair, she's spot on. That guy is sickening. His wife is pretty much a married single mother. And listening to the clips, she had this seed planted years ago, because this isn't something.
Is this the same video? I'm confused because this don't sound like the same woman talking. Is she reacting to this?
Thing that they're going through as new parents, the fact that he doesn't want to watch his own child. He said he thought his teenage daughter was going to do it. So that means he was behaving the same way with his teenage daughter. He's been doing this for years. So honestly, his wife, unfortunately, has created this monster. Wherever you start from, they're just going to grow in that. So he's grown in that for probably over a decade and a half. So that's her fault, unfortunately. The other clip where the lady's like, oh, I can do it too. I don't do anything. I don't touch anything. Game recognized game. And if you noticed, she never started that with her boyfriend. She probably had to get a new boyfriend and just never let it begin. Unfortunately, sometimes with people, you can't nip it in the bud. Well, if you don't
you can nip it in the bud. Stop acting like every situation or relationship you get into has to be the perfect scenario. Just so happened that the man that you dealt with didn't know how to attend to father responsibility. Oh, well, he can learn. Teach him. You know, we're not perfect. We all have flaws. What do you expect? Yes, it was wrong for him manipulating that and trying to put it back on her and getting mad about it, instead of being like, you know what? Let me look at it from your perspective. The man was wrong. He was absolutely wrong in that. But like I said, this pointing the finger and not taking accountability. If I was a man in that situation, I would have took full accountability. I'd be like, you know what? I got to be better as a man. I got to be better as a father. I got to be better as a husband. I got to learn these things because I probably was never taught. A lot of men aren't taught. A lot of people, they don't grow up in 2-parent households. A lot of people, they don't always have the ideal relationship with their parents or the ideal situation that helped hone them to be the person that they are today. So sometimes you got to give people a little bit of grace. You got to give them leeway. Not everybody's gonna have it all together. You know, that's why it takes a couple to understand their flaws and understand their shortcomings and build off of that and strengthen them. Turn those weaknesses into strengths. Don't try to jump to the next thing just because you've seen a quote unquote red flag. As long as it's not toxic, as long as it's not a point where he's constantly doing it and gaslighting and manipulating it and then trying to make you the bad guy, cool. But that's something you can easily just settle within a conversation. Just communicate.
Nip it in the bud, you have to start over. It's like it's trash now. It's a weed. You have to throw it out and get a new one.
No, that's a problem with
and
that
the
generation.
proof of that concept is in the pudding. Like that last clip when she was explaining the guy that just got dumped. He knew that she was unhappy. They know that you don't like it. You're doing stuff they've convinced you to do because they don't want to do it. That's like purposely giving somebody food because it's old or giving you a shirt because it's dirty. They're giving you trash. And they know that you're accepting it. So they're not confused. You have to start over. And that's what she did. She broke up with him. And now she's probably going to take that lesson and learn from it and apply it in the next relationship.
100% correct. One time I became what you could call accidentally a trad girlfriend of sorts. And it was a slippery slope, but men are not stupid. I would say about 90% of the time they are fully aware of what they're doing, and 100% of the time they are way more competent than they lead you to believe. Because be honest, anytime you finally let a man know how truly deeply he messed up and that you're really upset, or maybe even finally try cutting him off or leaving him on red for a while, then suddenly out of the blue he'll come back and start acting like a knight in
Hey everybody, my name is Sam, aka Sambucha, and I'm a YouTuber who makes variety content ranging from challenges to games.
Shining armor, right? Doing all the things you've always begged him to start doing, but just for long enough that gets you like manipulated.
So that means you need to have a better discernment and discretion of the men that you're choosing to be with. I still wouldn't make this assumption that all men are like that and that men are trying to manipulate this game. Most men are just chilling at the end of the day. Most men are simple. You'd be surprised, sis. A lot of men are very simple. There's some women who are simple too, but I've seen a lot of scenarios and relationships where it's always the female demanding the most out of the relationship. It's always her wanting these outlandish expectations and these criteria that just can't be met. So she's gonna jump to another relationship to find that. Women who manipulate having rebounds and men on the side and achieving attention and receiving attention. I said achieving, receiving attention and whatnot. And granted, we're the ones that's trying to manipulate. Like I said, men are not incompetent. Men are not. You telling me you know how to do plumbing? Do you know how to fish? Do you know how to hunt? Do you know how to build? 99% of jobs in HVAC are done by men. Most men that I've met, they know how to change a flat tire. They know how to change oil. They know how to help with your toilet when it gets clogged up. They know how to do taxes. They know a lot of things. So you're going to sit here and say men are incompetent because they're not doing their own damn laundry? That is crazy. That is such a bogus statement. So since men are incompetent, how about you change the tires? You do all the housely duties that you probably don't even pay attention to because that's a burden that's on a man's. So you go mow the lawn. You fix the leak. You fix the pipes when there's a leak in the house. You do all these things since men are incompetent. You can't say men are incompetent because you won't fold some damn laundry and wash a couple of dishes. It just sounds like you're just trying to compensate lazy for lazy. Men are not trying to manipulate anything because, like I said, 9 times, men got a lot on their plate. They have to carry the burden of the world on their shoulders. Some women, they just got to sit still and just look pretty. They're good. A man will take care of them. You get things handed to you. A man has to fight for everything. A man has to establish himself for a woman to even want to commit to him. Look at all these preferences that a man has to have. He has to be 6 feet tall, 6 figures, this, that, and the third. A man just wants a woman that's loyal, who's nice to talk to, who's a good communicator. And it's simple. Who's his peace? When he comes home, he just wants peace. So why are we using this language and these terminologies to try to demonize men? We're not going to do the same thing for you women, which a lot of men can do. As much as you can say a man is incompetent, we can say the same thing about a woman. You take away TikTok and take away all this, how would you survive as a woman without a man? It's something to really think about. You need each other. All right? You need each other. Nobody's trying to manipulate anything. Just tend to your man. That's all he asks. Wash them dishes, fold them drawers, and call it a night.
And hooked back on the line. Because men are more aware than we give them credit for. Which leads back to that if he wanted to, he would. He literally just isn't. And one time when I was about 19, I got into what you could call like a trad girlfriend situation before that was even a popular term. And you might ask me,
what is a trad girlfriend? What is a trad? I've never heard of a trad girlfriend. What is this TikTok generation? All these terminologies y'all keep coming up with. Nobody has heard that. You're just coming up with these things that compensate for when something doesn't go your way. I'm literally watching this video and I'm literally discombobulated right now because this is the mindset of a lot of people, especially women. It goes both ways, but y'all gotta stay off TikTok. Y'all gotta stay off these apps who's trying to control your way of thinking. Like, think for yourself. Ask your grandmother, hey grandma, did you ever tend to your husband, to grandpa? Did you ever wash his laundry? Did you ever do the dishes? Did you ever cook his food? I guarantee you she's going to say yes. 100% of the time. That was the way traditional times were. Granted, we're in a new age. So if a man can sit there and be incompetent of something that you women been doing for years, we can pull the same Uno reverse card on you women. So you're incompetent, like I said, to change the tire. You're incompetent to go mow the lawn. You're incompetent to go work a 9-to-5 job. You're incompetent to be taken care of. Men could pull the same Uno reverse card, and what do you get? Nothing. So stop trying to gaslight. Stop trying to manipulate. Understand what a man is asking of you. Something as simple as doing laundry and cleaning dishes, that doesn't mean a man is incompetent. What is my 7-year-old son knows how to wash a dish? You telling me a grown-ass man doesn't know how to do that? Laundry itself, bro, you put the laundry, you put it in there, you wash it, and you put it in the dryer. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do that. Like, what are you talking about? But all the burden shouldn't be on a man. You telling me I gotta go work my ass at this job, tend to the kids, and I gotta tend to the household. So you want a 100-0 relationship. You want me to do all the heavy lifting while you sit back and look pretty. Because you're comfortable. You want to scroll through TikTok all day and come up with these terminologies of incompetent when shit don't go your way. Goodbye, sis. I'm about to cut this video. We might do a part series. I don't know. But I'm running on strict time right now. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm not putting any blame on one gender or the other, but we gotta stop, bro. We gotta just love each other and grow within an understanding with each other. Gain an understanding. Understanding what is required for what we need to meet our needs from one another. Stop putting the blame game on the females. Females, stop putting the blame game on the males. Please, just stop. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. Stay off of TikTok, please. We might have to come back and revisit this, chop this up. This is kind of a long video. I'm cutting in the time right now. But I just want to say, give all praises to the Most High God and His one and beloved Son, Jesus Christ. It's been a real video today. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all leave y'all likes, y'all concerns in the comments. Let me know what else y'all need me to react to. Don't worry, we're gonna be on you men too. It's not just a one-way street. It goes both ways. So that being said, you done turned it up with Turn Me Up Tony with another reaction video. Until next time, peace.